Hey, Eagles fans, what's going down? It's your boy Dre, aka Dre Diesel, and we out here talking Philadelphia Eagles all the way from sunny California. And this is the Cali Eagles podcast. How the heck y'all doing, man? We got 97 days, 97 Tim Harris days till kickoff. And, we out here just trying to gather up as much news as we can for you guys. Today, we want to talk about another week in review. We got the OTAs that went down. And with that, we got some nice little switch up of players as well as the running back room, and then also want to talk about Kylie Kelce with the longest legs in Philadelphia out on date night about to squash some lady over a photo. Let's get into it. So, yeah, so with OTAs coming in, we did have a couple of little changes this week. We had a couple more guys sit out, right? We had Lane Johnson was out again, but then we also had Slay out now, and then we had CJ out as well. And so that left a lot of opportunities for a lot of younger guys. After the first week of OTAs, one of the biggest thing I was taking from that is that okay, we had Slay, Rogers, and Maddox as corners, and then I'm thinking, okay, with Dijon in the second on second string, he must be the backup to at least the nickel position, right? Well, this week it come to show that that is not the case. Maddox moves to safety in place of CJ, and then Tyler Hall comes in instead of Dijon as a backup to a first string position. With that, I'm kind of irked by it because I'd like to see the guy that's in there getting the second team reps get his shot. But maybe, we don't really know what's going on in OTAs, right? Like the days that the media sees, it could all be a show. Vic Fangio could just be like dialing up things just for us and not letting us know a darn thing. Who knows what he's been doing in the other OTAs that the media is not there? He could be switching things all around, all different types of crazy ways, right? So the thing that I still think is important to note though that Tyler Hall did get time with the first team reps, whether it be just to see how he could do, or maybe it's something bigger that the kid can play and they want to have him in as a backup there. One thing I did say in my other videos is that I'm okay with letting the rookies get their feel and earn their spot. You know what I mean? The last thing I want to see is our rookies getting handed anything and then expected to perform under pressure. Let's see what they can do first, make them earn it, make them fight for it, pay their dues, right? So apparently Tyler Hall held it down on there. And then here we go. Slay's out, right? So we think, oh, let's put in Quinyon Mitchell. Again, not the case with these rookies. They're going to stay on second team. And they went ahead and brought in Kylie Ringo. And let me say something about Kylie Ringo. I have Ringo, Ricks, and all the other backup cornerbacks kind of on the same tier. And to me, this kind of raises the tier for Kylie Ringo as far as getting a chance to play opposite or one of the starting first string positions being put in alone. I mean, that shows something right there, So maybe Kylie Ringo is really going to try and pan out and get a roster spot here and play well for us. And we're going to have to create another tier or actually bump him up into more elite cornerback status. Um, you know, Ricks and Ringo both played well last year, and then of course McPherson was out. And we haven't heard anything about McPherson yet, so maybe these guys are on the move. But you know, uh, I just thought it was interesting what they had lining up there, and I like what Fangio's doing, letting guys get a feel. So yeah, and then okay, Maddox comes in for CJ, right? So we don't have a Sidney Brown, right? And then we really don't have that other fourth safety. So let's go ahead and have Maddox play that. I'm not mad at it. Slot safety coming a lot of field, and Maddox has a good eye for the ball, but again. you know, who do we really trust to back up Maddox? Because Maddox has got that monster toe foot thing that just keeps him out now. It's been, that many years. So, one guy out, two guy out. Next thing you know, we're scrambling. I like Sidney Brown. I know he will be back too. But, we talk a lot about wide receiver, running back, wide receiver three might be a little bit thin, but to me, the safety position looks awful thin as well. And I know they're only going to hold on to so many guys, so that's a good one. Hit me up in the comments. You think we're good at safety, or should we go out and sign a guy? There's still guys like Justin Simmons. I understand is still out there, or just at least have a body up in there somewhere that's not converting from another position and also has a big fat foot. So anyway, yeah, so that's the secondary OTAs. I really like that setup. And then of course let's get into the linebacker setup, okay? And was really awesome when I heard this news because I'll be the first one to admit I've been down on the Kobe Dean. All right, and I really have had a bad feeling that maybe this kid was going to catch a case of the bench and might not be able to shake it now that all this other competition come to town. Well, it looks like he's going to have his shot as he was in this week, getting rotations in. Apparently, the surgery's good, and the way that they looked at it, at least on media day, was very interesting. Right, so it was White and Dean, or White and Bond, and then White and Dean, and then they take White out and they play Dean and Bond together. So I think that kind of shows you what kind of symbiosis they're going to have there. And the most interesting of them, like I said, to me was um, when they took Devin White out and it's Dean and Bond together. I mean, that just sounds crazy to me. Like, you know, let's say for instance, Devin White goes down for an injury, or heaven forbid something like that happen, or what happens if the man that's been here that already knows the system, who is N'Kobe Dean, also comes off injury, comes back 100%, and makes a run for the number one linebacker spot for the green dot. Then what would he do with Devin White? You know what I'm saying? This is something that we might really want to think about. Does Devin White going to take a backseat in pass coverage with N'Kobe Dean and Zach Bond? I know we paid Devin White a lot of money. We really needed that spot filled. But just the thought of N'Kobe Dean and Zach Bond on the field without Devin White, I thought was quite interesting little setup there. But that's another one. Let me know what you guys think about that. And I do have to give my dues to N'Kobe Dean. Although I've been down on him, I want him to succeed so bad. I really do. And this is a really good look for him. And I'm proud for the kid. And I hope that he really does have a showing out this year, because Lord knows we could sure use it. I mean, you talk about comeback player of the year. If N'Kobe Dean can throw together a season, it's gonna be lovely for everyone. You know what I'm saying? So good ups to the kid for sure. I hope he's feeling better. Of course, another guy that wasn't there right was James Bradberry again, and I do want to kind of dive a little bit deeper into this. Right, so a lot of people are saying, Bradberry had, just had one bad year, or Bradberry, could be play better with a better safety behind him. Last year he didn't have CJ behind him. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, now that he's got CJ back helping him on that side, Garner Johnson is so good that it will elevate Bradberry's game, right? So I was thinking about that, and I was like, the other ideas is like, man, the dude just lost his confidence and, couldn't find his way back mentally. So I want to kind of find out really what is going on, what has happened with James Bradberry. So I sat down a little bit for you guys and kind of looked at um, 2002, right? So James Bradberry um, did not have Gardner Johnson the whole year. Gardner Johnson was out 5-6 games. So I was like, well, if it comes down to Gardner Johnson being the X factor on why Bradberry played so much better, let me look at these 5 games where Gardner Johnson wasn't in there and they had to figure it out with without him. And the information that I came up with and what I did look at is like the percentage of uh, statistics that he had, like tackles and all that, per the percentage of games that season. So out of those 5 games, how many percentage of his statistics were of his whole statistics for the year? If that makes sense. Sometimes I have a hard time explaining this. Luckily, when if I get some more subscribers, I'm going to get all the fancy stuff where you can see it on screen too. But right now, it's just me and my laptop. So uh, again, let me try to explain this. So I looked at the how much of the statistics that he got during the 5 games versus how many statistics he got for the whole season, and that percentage came out to be equal. So as far as what James Bradberry was doing while Garner Johnson was playing for us in 2002 versus those 5 games he was out was no different. So there was no impact on James Bradberry's play with Garner Johnson being out. So I think right there we can rule out the fact that, of course, the secondary will be better. But as far as how much better James Bradberry plays, it doesn't look like it seems to have an effect. So then ultimately we have to go back to the confidence theory. And, I hate to see that for a guy, but, as far as cornerbacks go, you got to be mentally tough as nails because you're getting burned all the time in the NFL, especially the guys are just going to burn you. You got to be able to, you know, dust them shoulders off and hit the next play. And I know that's got to be hard when it comes down to a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I can't imagine. I can't imagine how much that must break somebody down if they don't have the mental fortitude. So that must be what it is. If Bradberry plays for us, we're going to find out next week. If he's not there, minicamp day one, that's a wrap. That's got to be a wrap on James Bradberry. And no bad blood. I hope that we figure something out smart that's good for everybody. I'd like to see him get traded straight across for a halfway decent wide receiver, so we can do some more things in that room. Um, but besides that, or like I said, maybe we could slide a safety in and get a safety straight across for him. That would be interesting too. All right. So then I want to take 1 second, guys, and look at the running back room that we have, right? So it's been interesting to listen to other social media guys talk about the running back room. And the guys that we have right now, of course, is the one and only your man, Saquon Barkley, right? Um, and the rest of the guys just seem to be 2 tiers down, right? Like there's no bridge in between there as far as I can see. Like, you got Saquon, then you got nobody, then you got Gainwell, Davis Price, Melton, I think his name is from Georgia, Shipley, and then I don't even know who Lou Nichols is. I mean, you talk about a jag, that's just a guy right there. Um, and that's I don't see that happening, or whatever. But you look at some of those other names. You're talking about the starting running back from Georgia. I think the kid was Melton. You're talking about the starting running back from Clemson. Those are 2 high quality colleges, guys. I mean, starters. Proven running backs. And these guys come out of the NFL, coming to the NFL, hitting the ground running. No pun intended. Um, and so then we got Gainwell, and we got the kid from San Francisco, Davis Price. Davis Price has a nice frame on him. So does this Melton kid. So you're talking about 2 big bruisers right there. And then of course Shipley is probably the we call him Shifty instead of Shipley because he looks like the shiftiest running back that we have right now for sure. Smaller guy, and then of course Gainwell's on the smaller side, but you know Gainwell it plays a lot bigger than his size. He's one of those guys, just like I like to think Boston Scott was one of those guys too. Smaller guy, but they play huge. They play in the middle, they play everywhere, and they run through guys even with a smaller frame. And looking at that room, guys, like I said, you're talking about 2 proven starters in college that are on the roster. How many of these guys you guys think that we're even going to keep? 4 or 5, on the roster, probably 4. So it's Saquon, Gainwell, and who? I'm thinking Shipley and Davis Price or Shipley and Melton. But either way, I think we're really good at running back, even with the tier drop. We don't know what these other two guys can do. We don't know how well they'll be able to step in yet. But ultimately, right now, I don't think there's a need for another running back. I think that, and as a running back aficionado, I honestly like these guys. I looked at their tape. Every one of them are ballers, and definitely worth holding on to, as well as signing. And we're going to be good with these guys that we have here. So I don't think ultimately we're going to sign anybody on. Moving on, looking at the pressers, man, we got to see Paris Campbell talk a little bit about his boy Isaiah Rodgers, and I knew those guys were going to go back and forth because I had a feeling that they had some history in Indy under under Siri when he was there. And so they put on a nice thing. But then, Nolan Smith comes out with probably a bigger gun show than the U.S. military. Like, dude put his elbows up on the table, and I don't even think he had to flex, man. I mean, you talking about he said he gained like 8 pounds. Well, he gained 4 pounds in each bicep. Dude's arms are built. Like, I was like, holy cheese whiz squeeze. I mean, squeeze the top of your head off type headlock technology. If that guy got a hold of you, you're done. You pop your top off. I was like, man. And that's a good look for Nolan Smith because it's good to see him getting reps as well. And you can see that he's real happy in that presser. He's always happy though. He's a cool dude, but you can see he's not phased and he's ready to party this year. But man, that presser, dude, I was like, who is this guy, dude? He's looking like Hercules a little bit there. Last but not least, Kylie Kelce. Now, from what I understand, this girl is an athlete herself. So I don't know what would insist any small little crumb bum to want to even talk to her some kind of way. I probably wouldn't. And then, to have the audacity to step up to her like her or something. Oh, dude. And she wanted the photo, so she knew who she was. And you got to realize who you're messing with there. Kylie Kelce is the Duchess of Delco, man. She's like from there. She's a Philly native. You'll mess around and get booted out of the whole state messing with that woman. I mean, that's the first lady of Philadelphia right there. So I don't understand. I really feel sorry for whoever this lady was. Apparently, she's some wife to a big wig chocolate guy from Switzerland or I don't know what it is, but I know for sure Philadelphia Eagles fans, at least, they won't play, man. They're gonna do some dirty stuff to this woman, and I really feel bad. I mean, I hope that she's okay after it all said and done, but I guarantee her husband ain't gonna be too happy with her. I know I would not be like, man, we trying to work here. What are you doing, dummy? You know, messing with Kylie Kelsey like that, man. That's crazy. But anyway, that's it, guys. That's all I got. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think. I feel like this video went a little bit smoother. I'm trying to get better at these guys. Like I said, we get some subscriptions going, and I'm going to look into getting some of the fancy stuff on the screen where you can have the stats and do this and that. And that'll be real cool, man. But I just want to make sure I'm hitting you guys with some good stuff first. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, please subscribe. Subscriptions are everything. Likes are great. Comments are good, man. Or any other information you guys want to talk about, hit me in the comments. Let me know if you like the original 1933s Eagles, baby. I don't think you can get this hat anymore. 1933. Uh, Anyway, it's Dre, aka Dre Diesel. Always talking Eagles. This is the Cali Eagles podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you later. Out.